We have MLD and massage therapist Lisa and Nova, who's sick at the moment. But more importantly, we have Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I feel honoured that I've got Nova here today as well.
Yeah, special guest.
I wish she wasn't unwell, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't. Not with little ones, that's for sure.
No. So, Lisa, how did you come to learn?
It was, I'd say, 10 years ago last month when I did my lymphedema course. The lady spoke about lipedema and I was a typical, you mean lymphedema? I'm thinking that that's what I was going to be learning. But no, she put me in my place and told me what lipedema was. It's Pauline Wallace from the Lipedema Academy, Lymphedema Australia Academy. She's extremely passionate about the lipedema community. So, yeah, that's where I first learned about it.
What made you choose to go, like as a massage therapist, to move into the
Yeah, I had just finished my certificate in massage. Didn't know what I wanted to specialise in. Everyone was saying do sports. It's not where I wanted to go. My girlfriend got brain cancer, my aunt got liver cancer, and then a guy I trained with, he told me about oncology massage. So I did that up on the Sunshine Coast, and they spoke about lymphatics and lymphedema, and they didn't teach that. They just purely did oncology massage. So then I found Pauline and her course and love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, sports was definitely for me.
Yeah. And we love that you found us.
Oh, no.
that you've created this space now.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm just wondering, because you were going down the, oncology massage, sorry, Nova's playing with my microphone, oncology massage path, and then you happened upon all of these people with lipedema. How did that trend? Like, did people just start rocking up to your door with lipedema, or, were you seeing a lot of people throughout their cancer journey and then a couple of people with lymphedema? Like, how did that work?
It just grew from the beginning, I think. So 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot out there. I'd say in the last 5 years, the awareness has definitely picked up, which is amazing. So in the last 6-7 years, I'd say the lipedema clients have definitely increased. I think having down the Gold Coast, Dr. Lekic and his hospital down there, that was a big turning point, I think, because he was able to diagnose local ladies. And then when they had the diagnosis, they could also, the surgery pathway sort of opened up for a lot of local ladies. So I guess that's when I was seeing lots of, and I would see I can't diagnose. So I would send a lot of people down there if they wanted a diagnosis. Not all ladies want a diagnosis because they can't afford the surgery. So I found, I sent a lot of people there and then they come back when they're doing surgery or got the diagnosis to continue the lymphatics because he was a big advocate for MLD and lymphatic health.
Yeah, and I guess that's how it goes, because once you realise you're part of a community, you join the community and then we all talk.
Yeah.
Like we let each other know like who we've seen and how we get along with them, and we recommend all the time. Like word of mouth is so powerful in the lipedema community.
And
so I'm glad
business.
That
it's the word of mouth.
Yeah.
I've hardly
just
ever
organically happens.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And beautiful people as well. Like, so blessed to be working in this space because, I love coming to work. I love the people I get to spend all day with. I see you guys more than I see my own family. I feel like it sometimes, especially post-surgery ladies when they're coming twice a week for weeks and then they don't do multiple surgeries. And, I feel like I spend more time with my patients than I do with my family. So it's nice that it's a nice space to work in.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your professional approach to your lipedema patients?
Each person has their own journey. Each person I hope I make it clear that it's not their fault, because for so long, whether it's the professional people or their family, it's their fault for why they're in the position or the shape they're in. I like to give as much information as I can on my first appointment. I do understand sometimes it's a bit overwhelming for the ladies. So I do have a little cheat sheet that sort of highlights what I went over and just say to them, go away, 1, breathe, and then 2, just think about, digest what we've spoken about, come back in 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then let's make a plan. Once you've sort of thought, what can I do, what can't I do, mentally, financially, and then we can make a plan, because it is, unfortunately, there is no at the moment. So it is, unfortunately, it is a day-to-day maintenance, having to look after it. So, yeah, everyone's different.
I remember coming away with your cheat sheet, and I
Oh, do
thought
you?
that, and you know, like you were the first MLD that I'd actually seen, so I didn't know that wasn't a normal thing. And you're right, I was quite overwhelmed with the information that I received.
Yeah.
But having a piece of paper that allowed me to think on it over a few days and know the important sequence of opening up the lymph, because you actually stepped out in that piece of paper,
So
the
important.
sequence to open up the lymph.
Yes, so
And
important.
so it gave me some power.
Yeah. Well, how can
know
you
that-
make decisions if you don't have information? So,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole education. Like I think we've said before, I didn't know what the lymph was. All I knew was if you got cancer in your lymph, that was bad. And that is all I knew of lymph until just before I was diagnosed, my Bowen therapist told me about the lymphatic system and how to look after it. So I'd sort of started learning what was like a week before I found out about lipedema. But it was all a big education, and it is a big education. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we can do, you know, and you highlighted that, Lisa, in our appointment, because best case scenario, I would have unlimited funds to come and see you once a week and to get your hands-on experience. But, you know, that's not affordable for everybody. And you actually gave me the power to do some things for myself. So then when I come and see you, you're not unclogging a whole month's worth of lymph buildup, I suppose.
Yeah. And I have ladies saying, well, I noticed a difference after today, after their first treatment. And it's like, well, potentially, like, will this, having MLD, will that fix me or make it better? But no, I can't fix you. You do need to do the things at home: compression, movement, breath work. That's my number one. Lower inflammation in the body. They need to be done. You can't just come to for MLD once a month and think that your lipedema is going to get better.
Yeah, it'll help, but there's a holistic things, and nothing's going to happen overnight either. Like this is a condition that we've had for 20, 30 years without any intervention. And now when we start learning about it, like all of the interventions we do are still going to take time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I ask, Lisa, when you've seen a client over a longer period of time and they do put in that effort themselves, what are you feeling in their body that may change over time? What's the physical difference?
The tissue softer. I love when they start and it's hard at the first time, when it starts getting soft. I was like, what have you been doing this month? Like, this is amazing. Like, what have you done different? Or sometimes they'll come and it's harder. Or what have you not done this month? And usually there's been a lot of stress, or they've sat a lot when it's gone the opposite way, and less nodules. The nodules are smaller, softer. The texture of the tissue is better.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the nodules, because Shell and I have both had the experience where we felt sort of softer and like more wobbly. And, you know, that's not the ideal way that I would like to feel, but we know for our lipedema that that's more healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering about the nodules. Like, do they reduce in size or do they get softer? Like, how does that feel to you when it's improving?
For some clients, it's just softer. Yeah, it just feels softer. The tissue just moves differently. Not so much reduced, just softened.
Yeah. Not like peas, like little tiny peas, just maybe.
Well, and people have, you know, there's that sand type texture, then there's the pea, like there's so many different textures that each lady, no one's the same. They're all different.
And we all present so differently. So I was at a health ed conference on the weekend with Lipedema Australia, and the four of us that were there at the conference, we all present so differently. And I started saying to one of the girls, I'm like, sometimes I think maybe I am just fat. Like, is someone going to say, sorry, you don't have lipedema, you're just fat? And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to change the name of the podcast. Like, this just isn't going to work. It is just that we are also different, because we just had Lipedema Awareness Month as well. And like, you see a lot of these things coming out saying, it's got an ankle cuff and you've got this and you've got that. I'm like, well, no, I don't have an ankle cuff. I've never had an ankle cuff. And my projection on my quads isn't out the front. I've got more at the back. And I'm like, so the stereotypical picture that kept showing me isn't me. And I think even within that, we need to make sure the message is we are so unique and so different, even where this tissue is going to present.
Absolutely.
So I'm becoming increasingly aware that management of our lymphatics is not just for us with lymphedema and lipedema, but it's actually like a holistic sort of wellness thing that's getting a little bit more prominent. Are you seeing more people come to your front door that don't know, like you may suspect they have lipedema, or it's very clear to you that they have lipedema and they don't know they have lipedema, they just came for an MLD? Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
100%. Yeah. I just had a lady this morning, actually, just before I jumped on with you guys. Yeah, an older lady, just swollen legs. She's had all the scans. She's been to all the specialists. Nothing's showing anything. Yeah, so many ladies come and don't know. And I feel bad because I don't have to, but I do say I suspect and go through the list of the characteristics of lipedema. Yeah. Or they've seen it on Instagram. I've seen this lady show her legs. Oh my gosh, is it me? Do you think this is me? Do you think I've got it? Again, I can't diagnose because I'm not a doctor, but they just tick too many boxes for them not to have it. So then I do suggest that they can find a doctor if they want a not every lady wants a diagnosis. Well, I can't get it fixed, so why do I need a diagnosis? I can't have surgery. Yeah, some don't want to have it, but yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, the diagnosis thing, because for me, I was always like, I wanted to know. So, but I saw something recently and it was like, well, if something doesn't have a label, how do you identify it properly? Like it was like an example of yogurt and sour cream. Like how would you know which one you were going to eat if it didn't have a label?
Yeah.
And
it's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. And then the flip side of that also is if you have a diagnosis, you can go to your GP, you can get care plans, you can get whatever assistance they can give for you with a diagnosis. If you don't have a diagnosis, it's harder for the GP to do up a care plan.
Yeah, and systemically, I think as well, it's harder for any action to happen from a systems point of view if they don't know the quantum of people that it's going to affect. And that can come either way. Like there's too many people with this, it's too prevalent, we can't afford for this disease or chronic illness to be a thing. Or there's enough of the population that has it that we need to work something out from a systems perspective.
We need to intervene.
Yeah, so I guess it depends politically where we are in the world and financially where we are in the world for whatever to take precedence. But to have a diagnosis means that it's more legitimized, I suppose, the more people that have it. Yeah. Sorry, Lisa, we're just hypothesizing about.
And also, if Medicare ever does come on board, I just think the ladies that have been diagnosed with it for many, many, many years, should they perhaps be the first to be able to have the treatment? I don't know, but at least it's there in your, I've had it for 10 years or 20 years, if ever how long it's going to take Medicare to come on board. So if it's there in your files.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. That's a good point. And look, that they probably won't prioritize that way. They will probably prioritize in terms of like a level, level of severity, I suppose. And those people that have been managing their lipedema so well to the point where they're at a manageable stage probably won't get financial assistance because they don't meet the criteria.
Yeah.
But I guess, one thing that I find to be kind of a blessing about lipedema is the therapies that we can use, like MLD, like something that you do, Lisa, is actually very pleasant to go through. Because for those people in the lipedema community that may be listening that haven't had MLD, it's actually a very gentle and relaxing thing to do.
It is.
Yeah. Can you talk about like how you do what you do a little bit for people that may not have experienced an MLD treatment?
So for me, it's gentle. Our lymph system's only a couple of mil underneath the skin, so we don't ever want to get to the musculoskeletal system. We just want to work with the lymph. The lymph all happens at the collarbone, what we call the terminus. Always have to open that first. You need to pull the plug before the sink can drain. So that's the sheet that would have given you, Tiana, is how to open up your lymphatic system. Because you can't remember things. You've got to take things, you need a piece of paper. Yeah, and I do art. That's, I guess, with all the conservative management tools on my little cheat sheet that I give at the end, that's the one that's not negotiable, is opening up your lymphatic system. And I do ask clients to do that once a day, morning or night. I don't care, as long as it's just once a day. Client always lays on their back. So lymph ball drains at the front. I always have my table elevated a little bit, so the head's up a little, the chest is up a bit. So we're pushing with lymph, we're pushing all your lymph or fluid to the heart. So if you can be elevated a little bit, it just helps that heart a little bit better with drainage. So I never have my table flat.
Right.
And just start proximal, always start collarbone, armpit, and then we always work distally. So on your arm, your fingers are always the last that we do, and on your legs, your toes, your feet are always the last. Always start from the top. Start where it drains. Yeah. And so I've had lots of people snore on the table because it's such a gentle and it's great for the nervous system. It calms us down. So for people coming off stressed and had a crazy day, they walk out going, oh, I need to go home for a nap now, which is awesome. Then I know I've done my job.
Yeah, because we're relaxed.
Yeah.
But you do have to wake us up to get us to do deep belly breaths, don't you, Lisa?
Yes, I do. Yeah, always.
Have you had to get woken up before, Tiana, every time?
I think I've fallen asleep on your table, Lisa.
I think we chat.
You're like my therapist.
Some people I just chat. We chat heaps, but others just fall asleep.
There's half gossip, half hypothesizing about the world. That's not half. I can't do my equations right now. But also just a little bit of
this, bit of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a safe space. Safe space.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how someone might feel after their first treatment, because you're moving a lot of things around that possibly have been stagnant for a while. What's the kind of normal, feeling after a treatment?
Yeah. So again, each person is so unique and different. Some people, it's just a simple little headache. I just ask them to ensure that they take water. If they need a Panadol or whatever they do for a headache. Some people feel like they've been hit by a bus the next day. Some people, they're just a bit fatigued the next day. Some people, nothing. I had one lady, it was like a third or fourth appointment. And then the next day before COVID, and she was going into work, she had to get off the train 2 times, I think, to get to the toilet because that day it just sort of all opened up that next day. So it may not be the first one. So it could be a couple. Yeah. And I think it's that inflammation, how bad people feel. It could be that, it's that inflammation that we're pushing through. And if you don't have much inflammation, that's when I feel you don't have the severe side effects. I've had 2 elderly ladies super, super energized after their lymphatic. I said, please just go home, have a cup of tea, just watch a bit of TV. And one lady's like, no, I had to go and mow the lawn. I went and did the edges. I was just so full of energy. So again, each person is different.
Yeah, very different. Yeah. That's good. Like there's such a big range. And so, nothing's wrong with you if you don't feel well, but also it's not like it didn't work if you feel great sort of thing. So there's like a broad spectrum of how you would feel after.
Yeah, because I think we always have to remember that like our lymph is carrying the toxins out of our body. So if we're being stagnant and now we're releasing some of those toxins, we might feel a bit crappy afterwards. I know I usually do.
I usually need to go to the bathroom after I see Lisa. Before I go and give her my healthcare card, I'm like, can I pop to the bathroom, please? When I get home, I have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and always drink lots of water after you.
Yeah. Not before, because I push on around the bladder. So, people come in with full bladder. Always water afterwards, not before the appointment.
Such a practical tip, Lisa. And I will completely forget it every time. So, because you see a lot of lipedema ladies, and it's increasingly so, have you noticed any interesting trends, commonalities, or maybe gaps in education when dealing with people within the lipedema community that come in to see you?
I think the trend is social media has been the big play that have has got the message out there. Good old Insta and now TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but ladies come in and say that they've seen their legs on TikTok. I think just the awareness, yes, in the last 5-6 years, the awareness has just been phenomenal.
I think with the only issue with social media is now there's miscommunication as well. So do you find that you might need to like clarify things with you ladies who come in and think they have lipedema?
Yeah, they think that, like you said, with the cuffing, that has to be. No, that doesn't have to be. You're all so different.
Yeah, I think with anything we do, it's always just an individual thing. Like what we can eat, like varies from person to person. Some people can have alcohol, some people can't. Like we just are so unique. And I think that's the biggest thing, trying to get that message across, that there is no one size fits all. Like, yes, MLD, yes, compression, but it's individual to you how that's going to be effective or how you're going to respond to it. So that's a big thing too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially you said with the eating, I hate the word diet. And I hate that, like a few 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was all keto, keto, keto. There was no other way that you guys could possibly eat except for keto. And that just blows my mind. If keto was the answer, we'd all be on it and we'd all be healthy, happy, jelly beans. But again, we're so like, I just say maybe, again, I'm not a dietitian. So I just suggest to the ladies, if they're not onto a low inflammatory eating path, maybe they talk to a dietitian and work out what works for them. I suggest even starting a little journal to see if they can see if there's any patterns of what they're eating, if their bodies have got any side effects happening with what they're eating. So yeah, it's just so individual for each person, down to our food.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And even a food mood diary. I always love doing them to see how I actually feel eating food. Like someone says you should eat, like for me, it's cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is great for you. You should eat it. I get so sick, so moody, so terrible when I eat cottage cheese. And I'm like, nope, that one's not for me. No, but still, when a plan comes out and they're like, yeah, follow this, I'll still try it, even though I know it's not for me. Yeah, I'm 51 years old and I'm still learning. Yeah.
Diet's so hard.
Yeah. And I think as we age as well, with all our menopause, like our tummies change. And so our diet or our food intake, it will change. What we eat at 20 is not what we're going to eat at 60. So just got to change it with the times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Lisa, where can the Lipedema community find you?
Yes, I'm at Browns Plains, next to the big shopping centre, 65 Grand Plaza Drive. We moved here a year ago, so we love, it's not new anymore. It's a year
It's
next
still
month.
new to me when I go.
You got to
but we
remember
love
which way
it.
you're going.
Yeah.
It's one
You've got the
level
whole
and
area. Yeah, and you've got a few rooms and a few.
And what else do you offer?
Yeah, so I've got since we've come to this new shop, because it's double the size, I've got a little shop out the front with Sigvaris and Mobiderm, and Letitia, she's a model, a plastic model that's there, the mannequin Letitia. She models all the gear. She changes her hair every now and again. And then I work with Dennis. He's Muscle Talk. So he does the myotherapy. So he's amazing with musculoskeletal. So I do refer a lot of my ladies over to him because his knowledge on musculoskeletal is just amazing. And at the back of our space, I put in a lymphopress pump room, just so because I am a huge advocate for pumps. I've got venous insufficiency and I use the pumps before I got my veins all fixed in my abdomen. So I do feel that they have a place in our lymphatic system. So I've set that out the back with the pant, the leg sleeve, the arm sleeve, so people can try it before they either buy one, or if they're too expensive, at least they can. And a lot of ladies I'm finding out will do one a month here in the clinic, and then they'll go next month. They'll go into the pump, and they're just alternating.
So we can book in as a standalone. So we could come in and just use the pump.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays at the stage, yeah. So the thing with us,
sorry, Lisa, can you just say that again? What days?
Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday morning at this stage.
Perfect.
I do ask people when they book online that they do get an intake form, because we have to ensure that same as with lymphatic massage, you can't have an infection, you can't have a DVT or blood clot.
Sure.
You can't have heart and kidney failure. The pumps are pushing so much more than what our hands can on the table. So the the thing I learned through all my courses is do no harm. So that's, I'm quite passionate in that. So if someone came in with an infection, I turn them away or, tell me they've got heart. And that's if I've got that intake form sent earlier, if I see that you've ticked a box, I'll give the person a call and just check in and make sure when was the DVT or, things like that. So, yeah.
That's such a good point because, it's great that people can try, especially if they want to purchase and they want to see what it's all about, to come and try the Lymphopress because it's like one of the best ones, in terms of pneumatic pumps. But when they come in, like what's best practice for them? So say they come in to use the pump, what's the process that they need to follow before they get into the machine for you, Lisa?
So I do ask for the leg, pant or sleeve. I do ask that they wear or just bring with them long pants and some socks just for comfort and for hygiene. The arm sleeve, I just ask them for a long sleeve shirt. When they come in, we'll just chat with them, just go through the intake form, get them onto the table or the chair, depending if they're doing arm or leg. We always open the lymphatic system, always. Pull the plug before we drain the sink. Yeah, then we set them up. If like sore ankles, sore knees, whatever, we can adjust the pressure for each person. Once we'll check in, I'll just get them started. What I like about Lymphopress is you've got that opening, the pre and post. So we always do that before we start the massage or the pumping. We'll just check in on them 5 minutes. Once they're okay, I show them, if it's painful, that's the stop button. If you need an emergency, just turn that off. Haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just let them make sure they got the phone or magazine or book or something. Just let them have their 40 minutes chill time. And then, of course, they have to do all their breath work at the end, open up the system. Yeah, tell them to drink plenty of water afterwards as well.
No, not before.
Not before.
It's a bit hard when you're stuck in a pump and you're so relaxed, but also you're like, I need to go to the bathroom. This is so annoying. My question has escaped out of my brain. Sorry, so if you do have a pump at home, how do you know, unless you buy it from someone like yourself, Lisa, who can go through the settings, but how do you know what is the best way to set it? What are the signs in your body to know whether you've got it right?
Well, it'd be the comfort. Like, do you mean like the pressures in the chambers?
Yeah.
So I need no Lymphopress. I don't know how any of the other ones work, but always the feet or the hand has to have the highest pressure and it always graduates up. You don't want it constricting you. It should just be firm but comfortable. You should fall asleep. It should be comfortable that you just fall asleep. The amount of times ladies have report them and their partners, like they're falling asleep and their partners come and wake them up and go, it's finished. Got to go to bed. Yeah, so it should just be comfortable and just a chill session.
Nice. Love that. I find I haven't tried the arm sleeve yet, but I've been curious about the arm sleeve. But I usually like to play on my phone or watch a movie or something while I'm in my leg sleeves, and you sort of restricted. You have an arm out of action. I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to do?
You only need one hand to scroll.
Yeah, one hand. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Lymphopress, the jacket I have is just the one side, because I just think if you've got both, you can't use the machine, you can't turn it on and off. That's just a bit weird. So, and you can just reverse it onto the other side, do half an arm one side and flip it over onto the other arm there. Yeah, both sides.
Yeah, here's me thinking about not being able to watch a movie, but your very practical response is that you can't turn it on or off or do anything for your own safety because your hands are
priorities, Tiana.
Oh, that's so funny. So, Lisa, our last question was about how lipedema is quite an expensive condition to have when you do all the things. And we've already talked a little bit about how you have, with new people that you see, and giving them those handouts to come away with a little bit of their power back by doing their own things at home. But along that same track, what are the things that somebody can do for their lipedema that probably will help the whole condition be a little bit more cost effective?
Yeah, I think walking in the pool. If you've got a pool, fantastic. It's nothing, but pool entry is cheap, and especially if people don't want to wear garments, then I think pool and breath work are my two things I just ask. But I've had ladies that can't swim, will never go into a swimming pool. So do whatever exercise, movement, muscle contraction is just so important. It doesn't have to be Ironman stuff. Just if you enjoy walking or go for a cycle or they don't cost anything. Yeah. And just be mental health. I think stress has such a big part in flare ups. So just self-care, whatever that is for you. But if it's just going for a walk or watching a TV, watching a movie, just be kind to yourself. So yes, reduce that inflammation.
Amazing. Yeah, there's some good tips. The breathing, the stress, and you can feel it too, Lisa. You mentioned before, when someone's feeling a little bit more inflamed while you're, doing your therapies, sometimes they come in and they've just had a stressful time. So it does make a difference.
Life is stressful a lot. Yeah, for all of us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
We finally got you on.
2 years. We got here. The thing I said I'd never do. Here we are.
Yeah, I'm so
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Look at you go.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we got to highlight what you do, because you have made such a massive difference to my condition and the way I think about myself with my condition as well. So if anybody wants to go and see Lisa, highly recommend Lymphatic Health and Massage at Browns Plains. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me.
Oh, thanks, Tiana. That's so lovely.
Yeah, and go and see it, and go and check out the pump room as well, because that's a really good.
That's a great idea. Yeah,
because
it's a low cost as well.
Yeah,
low cost
treatment.
Yeah. I'll put your details in the show notes. Hopefully, everyone will find you.
Yay!
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you, Nova.
Bye.
Lipedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.